The American Express green card's in a bit of a weird spot, and the math didn't work out for me, so I skipped it. On paper, its multipliers for transit do look really good, but with only one credit to offset the annual fee and not many other perks, it doesn't make sense for many people. So despite the family language on Amex's charge cards, I did skip it. So now I can't get a bonus on it if I do go for it in the future, but it still made sense in my situation. Hey everyone, I'm Kwaku, your credit scientist, and welcome back to my award lab, where I teach you the science of miles and points. As we dive in, be sure to like and subscribe. It does really help me out. And if you know anyone that needs some credit card help, then definitely share us with them. So the green card's annual fee is $150, which isn't too bad. The issue is there's only one credit that can offset it. You do get a credit for Clear, and Clear retails at $209, so if you would pay for Clear out of pocket, then you are saving money here. But me personally, I already have pre-check, and yes, they're separate, but the pre-check line for me is normally short enough to where I don't need to add Clear on top of that. So I wouldn't pay for Clear out of pocket, making this credit a zero for me, which means I'd have to make up that $150 somewhere else. So what about the sign-up bonus? In year one, the current standard offer as of filming is 40,000 points after you spend $3,000 in your first 3 months of card ownership. A bit on the lower end, but 40K still isn't too bad. So looking at our Blackboard here at 1 cent per point, you are locking in about $400 in value. At 2 cents per point, you're locking in about $800 towards travel. So not bad at all, and easy to offset the annual fee in year one, but a bit harder in year two and beyond. But that's where the multipliers could come in. You do get a really broad multiplier for travel. So you get 3x on flights, hotels, tours, campgrounds, car rentals, cruises, vacation rentals, and more. The card also has a really good multiplier for transit. So here you get 3x on trains, buses, ferries, subways, and more. If you book lots of flights, hotels, and rental cars, you can get higher multipliers elsewhere, but getting 3x back on cruises and vacation rentals like Airbnb and Vrbo is really good if you book these a lot. But anyways, I have a cap on Venture X, and that's my go-to for flight, hotel, and rental car spend. As I get 5x on flights and 10x on hotels and rental cars all on the portal, but those elevated multipliers do beat out the 3x that you get on the green, even though it's in the portal, which is fine for me. And then with the other multipliers, I don't book enough like cruises or vacation rentals, for example, for it to be worth it to get 3x on that over getting a flat 2x on the Venture X. My effective annual fee on the Venture X is $0 because of the Venture X's credits and the 10K bonus miles. So in this case, it makes more sense to earn 2x back on cruises and vacation rentals on a card with an annual fee that's effectively $0 compared to a card with an annual fee of $150, even though the multiplier is higher. Let me illustrate. Jumping to our Blackboard, we can calculate our break-even spending point. First, we gotta subtract our rewards rate, so taking that 0.03 for the green, minus 0.02 on the Venture X, we get 0.01. If we're targeting 1 cent per point, we'll take that $150 annual fee and divide by 0.01, we get $15,000. So if I have more than 15 grand in vacation rental and cruise expenses, then putting that on the green makes sense. And if I have less, then putting it on the Venture X makes sense. I definitely have way less than that, so putting it on the Venture X here makes sense as opposed to putting it on the green and losing value because of the annual fee. Now doing the same calculation, we're redeeming at 2 cents per point, but also at 3. Our break-evens are 7,500 and 5,000. So even targeting 3 cents per point on redemptions, I don't have $5,000 in vacation rental or cruise spend in a year. So even at that spend level, the Venture X still wins. The same holds true for transit spend. Even being in New York, where I do take subways and buses a lot, and the occasional Amtrak or NJ Transit ticket, the green still loses because my spend's just not enough. Here in New York, as of filming, our subway fares are $290, but it is capped at $34 in a week. So I could spend up to $17.68 on the subway in a calendar year, in theory. Even if I'm targeting 5 cents per point, which is difficult but definitely not impossible, the Venture X still wins because my spend just isn't enough. And getting 2x back on this spend makes sense because $17.68 is less than $3,000. Now, when I first moved up north, I was living in New Jersey and taking NJ Transit pretty frequently, so I had a monthly pass that was around $500. I did that for about 4 months, then moved into the city for real. And even on that spend, the Venture X still wins. Now, if that was the full year, that'd be 6K in spend. So you can make a case for the Amex Green at that point, but my personal threshold is 1.5 for domestic and 2 for international, so still not enough spend. Lots of math, but that's what we do here, showing you the science behind all this miles and points stuff. High multipliers don't always mean maximum value. It's important to do calculations like these and make sure you're not losing money. Moving on, the green also gets 3x on dining, which is pretty normal for a mid-level card, and 1x everywhere else. A few other benefits include trip delay coverage for flights booked through Amex Green, and baggage insurance. Just make sure to read the fine print and do your own research, as this is not insurance advice. You'll also get no foreign transaction fees despite Amex's limited acceptance abroad. And if you do use Rakuten, you can have the cashback that you earn with it turn into Amex points. So if you want to try out Rakuten, I will leave my referral link down below the like and subscribe buttons if anyone's interested. So what's the upside with Amex points? You can cash them out for a statement credit or use them in the Amex portal, but to get max value out of Amex points, it's best practice normally to transfer them to partners for reward travel. That's how we can get 2, 3, and even more cents per point. You could fly from the US to Europe for only 60K points in business class if you can find availability. So you transfer 60K Amex points to Flying Blue and then use them as Flying Blue miles, locking in over 4 cents per point. I did the math for that redemption in my review of the Amex Gold card, so definitely check that out if you're interested. Amex miles do have lots of upside when using partners, so I definitely recommend going that route for redeeming them. If all you're going to do is redeem in the portal or for statement credit, then honestly I'd argue just getting a pure cashback setup and not messing around with travel cards at all. Using award search tools can also help find deals like these, so download the like and subscribe buttons. I'll link a few below that I've used in the past. Down below too, you can also find a free transfer partner guide so you can see what other partners Amex has, but also what other partners major banks have. One more thing too before we end, if you do want a decent transit card that is no annual fee, check out the Wells Fargo Autograph. It does earn 3x on dining, travel, and transit like the green, but also earns 3x on gas, streaming, and cell phone plans. The downside being you don't get as many transfer partners, but you do have Virgin, British Airways, and Flying Blue. As of filming, the welcome offer is 20,000 points after spending $1,000, which is pretty easy to hit. Not as high as the green, but 20K is definitely solid for a no annual fee card. So there's the review of why I skipped the Amex Green. Not a bad card by any means, just couldn't get past the annual fee. And my existing cards just fit better with my spending habits. I think this card's due for a refresh pretty soon, so we'll see what Amex ends up doing. If you're still watching, leave a turtle emoji and I'll try to like it and respond. If you do have an Amex Green card, then tell us why you like it and how you make best use of your points. Those that don't have it, let us know if you're considering it or if you're like me and skipping it. Down below too, ask any questions. I'm always here to help. As always, thank you all for joining me in my award lab. I'm Quick, your credit scientist, and I will see you all in the next one.